Welcome back to Able Stadium here on 21 Sports. I'm Jeff Moats. I'm joined today by Nebraska Wesleyan University President Dr. Fred Oles, and lots of improvements have been going on so far this year, Dr. Oles. And another one that Nebraska Wesleyan's taken upon is this identity initiative. Tell us more about that.
That's right, Jeff. We've spent about the last 18 months taking a careful look at how we construct our identity. We've done surveys with alumni, friends, faculty, staff, folks all over Nebraska Wesleyan's network, and we've found a very consistent, resonant theme. The difference is experience, your experience.
What about those experiences that make Nebraska Wesleyan so unique?
Jeff, there are two things that I see happening all the time. One is that our students are very engaged in their own learning. We've got 70% of our students completing internships, 30% studying abroad, almost 30% in intercollegiate athletics. Our recreation and intramural program is essentially run by students. I could go on about theater and music. So that's the one thing. The students are just engaging themselves. The other thing is that the professors are really adept here at setting up structures in which students can take a hold on their own learning.
So the response has been very good to start out?
I like the initial response. I do have to say we're in the early weeks of it. We're beginning to get out some advertising. We rolled it out at homecoming, had a great response, and we think that 17 and 18-year-olds especially are going to respond to this quite well.
Sounds good, Dr. Oles. And, of course, if we want more information on the Identity Initiative, just go to the Nebraska Wesleyan website.
That's right, nebrwesleyan.edu, and we've got wonderful examples of how the difference is experience, your experience plays out.
That's Dr. Fred Oles, the Nebraska Wesleyan University president, joining us here at halftime. Dr. Oles, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Jeff.
And we'll be back to Able Stadium after this on 21 Sports.
These are the keys to the car that Sarah just bought. After landing a new job, where she barely made it to the interview on time. In a rental car, paid for with money that was transferred to her account in seconds after her old car broke down. With a simple call to Ryan at Union Bank, who took care of everything and got Sarah on her way. At the right bank, a real solution is just a phone call away. And the right bank starts with the right people.
I should pick Wesleyan because
it's a school that whatever you want to be in life, you can certainly do it.
I wanted a small school, small campus where I could be one-on-one with my professors.
It's just like one big family. Not to mention the kind of education she gets is wonderful.
I didn't apply to any of the schools. I know Wesleyan was the one that I wanted to come to.
We want you to come join us and be a part of the Prairie Wolf family and be a part of the tradition of success.
Welcome back to Able Stadium. Let's take a look at the first half highlights. He's to the 10, cuts back, he's open. Touchdown, Nebraska Wesleyan. With a Prairie Wolf touchdown. And Meisner sees a snap go over his head, ball picked up in the end zone. It's a touchdown, Jordan Delbaugh.
Offense out of his arm.
Myers throws, it goes to Edwards, who gets the completion. And they'll want to keep it. He breaks free into the end zone, stumbling in there for the touchdown. Traffic Candy on 1st and 10, throws it away, intercepted, 10-5, touchdown, Brett Kotzer and Nebraska Wesleyan.
What a start for the Prairie Wolf defense. A fullback in there as well.
Pass is intercepted. It is picked off. Nebraska
got this team back on the winning track. You go back to last week, they didn't allow the offense at Concordia into the end zone. And then this week, or 2 weeks ago, they gave up only 184 yards of total offense.
It looks like we got a... And back here at Able Stadium, there you see the halftime stats. The score 38-0 Nebraska Wesleyan. Look at the total yards. There's no comparison whatsoever. 263 total yards of offense to the 51 from Briarcliff. 11 first downs for Wesleyan, 9 for Briarcliff. The time of possession, and that's the one that's really lopsided. 18:39 for Briarcliff, just 11:21 for Wesleyan. They haven't really had a lot of time to, really do anything if you look at it, but, they've gotten a lot accomplished in an amount of time.
Well, they've had some big plays, 200 yards on the ground, and the 4 turnovers for Briarcliff, a key stat there as well. That, this Nebraska Wesleyan defense, Coach Keller talked about it earlier in the week. you know, they may bend a little bit, but they're kind of a bend, don't break defense. They may give up some yards. They might let some teams go up and down the field between maybe the 20s or the 10s even. But when it comes down to it, they've done a good job of keeping people off the scoreboard and giving their offense a chance to win the game. And they really gave them a chance to win the game today. They started out with a touchdown of their own. So, yeah, the time of possession, they've been on the field a lot, but they've done a great job. They got turnovers, and the same with that bend, don't break. You know, they were down there all the way down about the 18-yard line one time. Kept them out of the end zone, didn't give up any points, preserved the goose egg on the scoreboard.
Well, to open things up here, we'll see Briarcliff kick away. Brooks Earhart and Cody Eiler, they're back to return at the 5-yard line as the Prairie Wolves are up 38-0. Here's Beisner's kickoff, and Eiler gets it at the 12. All the way up to the 30, to the 40, 50, 40, 30, green space ahead. Touchdown, Nebraska Wesleyan.
Eiler with his second kickoff return for a touchdown this year. This one 88 yards, and it was blocked beautifully the whole way. You could see the seam up the sideline, and why not one more way of scoring this afternoon for the Prairie Wolves? You see Eiler takes it on the left hash, comes across. He had nothing, but he didn't even get touched on this. Great blocking right there. Good kick-out block at the end all the way home. Special teams has done it 2 different ways. The defense has scored. The offense has scored. Everybody's getting into the action today. Eiler with his third kick return for a touchdown this season. 2 kickoffs, 1 punt.
Here's the kick from Steven Anderson. It is through the uprights and good. 12 seconds into the second half, Cody Eiler on an 88-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. 45-0 Prairie Wolves over the Chargers on 21 Sports.
About Nebraska Wesleyan, I think it's really, really easy to get to know your professor.
It's a school that whatever you want to be in life, you can certainly do it.
The education at Wesleyan is amazing.
And I just really like the community feeling.
The campus is great, small campus, facilities are great, the professors are great. It's just a great place to be.
I wouldn't trade anything in the world for opportunities like this.
So come to Nebraska Wesleyan.
Cody Eiler, you know, we were just talking about this off air, Lucas. When he got to the 40, I think he was home free.
Yeah, it was a lot of green spaces. You said Jeff ahead of him. He picked up that one key block. He wasn't touched the entire way. And Eiler, right here, picks up that block, and after that, he was home free. Nobody around, just waltzes in for 6. Second this year for Eiler, you know.
He's had the punt return too, aside from the other kickoff return.
Well, pretty sure-handed that time, even with the cast.
He had a couple of those punt returns last year too, as Steven Anderson's kick gets kind of caught up in the breeze a little bit, bobbled up by Harshman, and he is stopped behind the 25 at the 23-yard line.
Reeves wraps him up, brings him down on special teams, and you know, we listen to Coach Keller talk with John at the halftime break, and it's all about keeping your focus, coming out competing that entire second half, you know, to almost take your mind off the scoreboard, you know, and it's a tough thing to do. You're out there competing, you're wanting to put points on the board, you feel like you're up, you know, you kind of maybe put it in a lower gear, you kind of coast a little bit, but we'll see how many younger players we see. As Coach Keller said, we'll try and see some younger players, and maybe that'll keep them hungry.
Here's Jared Williams, who stumbles out of a tackle around his shoelace and picks up a first down as he carries the ball up to the 34-yard line.
Well, when he gets rumbling, he is a load to bring down. 230 pounds. He'll bounce off some people. He'll drag some people around. You got to hit him low to bring him down. He's a tough inside the tackles runner.
2 receivers, 1 split each side. Williams the handoff. Tries to bump off a tackle and nothing doing. Gets to the 35-yard line, just past there. As Briarcliff still staying with their first-team offense, and there's still plenty of time left here for something to happen. But the way things have gone for Briarcliff on offense, it just seems like a long shot at this point.
It's great to see the shutout on the board yet, especially last week. Briarcliff did put up over 20 points on Northwestern. So they had some success against a quality team last week. Northwestern, a ranked team. But this week, nothing doing. This Nebraska Wesleyan defense just flying to the ball all over the field.
Zach Hoy coming up with a tackle on Jared Williams. Back at the 31-yard line.
Russell Walton not far behind. Piling on, helping out. A lot of gold hats to the ball. And they're not doing anything fancy here. They're just playing base defense. They haven't been doing anything fancy up front of the line the last 2-3 possessions going back to last half. They're just playing solid assignment football and just man on man. They're just beating their man to the football.
So 3rd and long. Friesen thought about maybe trying to blitz, but traffic, Candy, goes incomplete on that pass here to the near side. Let's head down to the field to John Thayer.
Guys, we've talked many times about Nebraska Wesleyan's injuries at running back. And in the first half, we saw Matt Sharkey take an odd hit, really trying to go out and catch a pass. And then he went to the sideline and spent most of the second quarter with ice on his left hamstring. He is now on the sidelines, out of any padding, and he's wearing his jersey. All he's got on is wind pants, so he's done for today, and you just hope he can get back.
And on the play here, as we get back to action, looks like Alex Pick comes up with a ball. The ball marked down at the 39-yard line.
Special teams, everything is working this afternoon for Nebraska Wesleyan. They've been close on blocking a punt a couple times, as this time they get to the punter, take it right off the end of his foot, coming in, getting the block that time. Spencer Fecht out of Axtell getting in there, the pressure, and now the short field for this Prairie Wolf offense. Delbaugh was one who almost got there a couple other times, but this time the pressure came from the left. Meyer's still out there, quarterback. So just really his 3rd start, so still getting experience for the last couple games here this year.
Here's a handoff. Delbaugh spins his way through the middle, takes it down to the 33-yard line. If I'm not mistaken, Phil Latimer, I think, was lined up in the fullback spot.
I was just going to mention that to you. We finally had the Phil Latimer sighting on offense.
And he put up a pretty good block for Delbaugh right through the middle.
Well, they said they were going to use him not just on short yardage spots, but really any isolation plays up the middle, as Latimer will come in there and be that lead blocker.
2nd down here for the Prairie Wolves. Delbaugh gets it again up to the 30-yard line, about a yard short of the 1st down. Again, Latimer was able to create a hole there for Jordan Delbaugh to cut through. Quick no huddle here. 3rd and 1. Here's a pitch, Delbaugh. He's inside the 30 to the 25 and wrapped up at about the 24-yard line.
Well, and you see that tempo of the Nebraska Wesleyan offense there, the ability to get to the line quickly, catch Briarcliff on their heels in a 3rd and short situation, where all you got to do is pick up that yard and move the chains. They really get up there quick hitter, right side, good yardage by Delbaugh. And Delbaugh is kind of finding his stride here in his 2nd game back this year after the early injury to his ankle, really getting back to normal Delbaugh that we've seen in previous years today.
Here's a pitch and a sweep to the left side. Delbaugh got some blocking ahead of him, and he is finally bulldogged from behind and taken down at about the, well, we'll call it about the 18-yard line. That time it was Mike Trobaugh who came in to make the stop.
And gives Trobaugh some credit that time. He really pursued that play well from the backside. Otherwise, it looked like Delbaugh might have some clear sailing. He picked up 1 block, but Trobaugh tracked him down from behind. Steady diet of Delbaugh here on this drive. Yep. Toss plays left and right.
They're giving the ball to him quite a bit as he picks up a yard up to the 17-yard line. And, this is a kid that missed, 3 games roughly because of injury. I mean, again, the backfield has been wounded quite a bit here much of the season. And looks like Blake Coyne gets the handoff, and Coyne takes it to the 15. And this might be close to a 1st down.
They're going to maybe that might be Shia. And there's also an injured Prairie Wolf down.
Who is it?
Up front. Looks like it's Eric Byerly. Up under his own power. Able to walk off. The trainers will take a look at him. Trainer's been fairly busy this afternoon for Nebraska Wesleyan.
Sam Rickaby will come in his place. And
Rickaby is someone who's just back to the action himself. He's able to practice this week. He's been out with a knee injury. So good to see Rickaby back out there.
So we'll call it 4th and a yard at the 15. Myers will line everybody up in the eye with one receiver to the far side, one near side. Toss to Coyne. Coyne spins ahead, and I don't think he got it.
That'll all depend on the spot here.
They're marking him right at the 15-yard line. I think he had to get to the 14. And for the first time today,
wow, that's
Briarcliff on defense comes up with a big stop on 4th down. Yeah, they put it right at the 15.
I think a lot of the time, you know, maybe you're watching and you're going, well, why are they, Nebraska Wesleyan, going for it on 4th and short? You're already up 45-0, but really that, you know, from a coaching standpoint and a sportsmanship type thing, that's probably the better thing to do there. Let them have a chance to stop you without going, okay, we're just going to tack another 3 on here when 3 points at this point really is inconsequential.
Traffic Canny, and the ball carrier that time was Wilson, and Wilson is stopped back at the 10-yard line.
Well, and you know, it's good to see Russell Walton just having fun out there, and that's infectious for his team. You know, even at this point, you're up that big amount, 45-0, but Walton out there having a great time. It's really infectious, and what a way to lead by example. You know, his motor going all the time. Some of those younger players that have come in here today and get some time, see that from him, and just really carries on top down through your program.
Traffic Canny, drop back pass, and it is almost intercepted. Did he get it? Did he say he got the ball? No, incomplete. He was out of bounds. Tyler Schultz looked like he might have had a pick right there, but it might have been out of bounds.
The linesman might have been the best defender that time on Schultz. Let's take a look quickly here and see another little slant route, and he jumped it. He did make the catch, but the field judge said that he was out of bounds when he came down with it.
3rd and long again at the Briarcliff 10. Shotgun, here it is to Traffic Canny. Throws a pass, far side, up in the air, and it goes in. Complete, good coverage from Cody Eiler. And Levy with the intended reception that time. Let's head down to John Thayer. In fact, he's up in the stands. He's sitting with the Village people.
Yeah, guys, I found my way to the Village people in the stands here, and they are from Omaha. Bobby is here. Bobby, what is the whole thing behind the Village people dress up?
My dad's idea. We kind of like to embarrass my brother a little bit. They've been doing it for the past few years, and he's a senior this year, number 61, Mitch Manser. So we had to do something over the top.
And so Dad being Dad gets to be Chief, but he doesn't want to talk much over there. So how does that work out? How is the Chief?
Silent type.
He's a silent type?
Well, most of the time. Fans around us may think different.
So what are the chances we could get a little rendition of the YMCA going here?
We could do it if your own would help, I guess.
We need people around here to sing. They said the folks in front of us know how to sing it. If we can get the crowd to sing YMCA, I think we could get a dance going, right?
We could.
I don't think we're going to get the crowd to sing it, though, guys.
John gets to have all the fun down there.
Yeah. John, thanks for that report. And, you know, it's a good thing that we highlighted that. Yeah, they're looking back at us saying, do you guys want us to sing it? Well, sure. Why not? Here's Blake Coyne as we get back to action. He cuts back in a little bit at around the 30. He gets to the 32-yard line. And that's Mitch Manser's family down below, coming down from Omaha to root on Mitch and the Prairie Wolves today.
And as they said, to embarrass Mitch. They said that they like to do that. So it's awesome to see that this crowd out here. You know, it is Halloween weekend. Why not have a little bit of fun? I thought maybe we'd see a few more costumes in the stands, but good to see the Village people could make it out this afternoon.
Second down here for Wesleyan at their own 32. And Coyne gets it. I believe that was Coyne that time.
No, check that now.
Nick Lovell.
Lovell's in. And we saw Lovell against Dort, had some nice carries. As again, that game against the Defenders, I think we saw 8 different running backs carry the ball. And probably be more of the same here in the second half as Nebraska Wesleyan just going to pound it on the ground, let that clock run away. You know, right now the clock's their best friend as long as it's running. 3rd and 5 here. See what Myers does with it.
Puts Edwards in motion. Near side, it goes to Coyne. Nope, underthrown, incomplete.
He's going to be about a yard shy of the first down, even if he was able to make the catch. Just a little underthrown by Myers that time. You know, that first half, you look at Ethan Myers, he just had 13 pass attempts, so they didn't have to go to the air a whole lot. He completed right at half of them, 6 of them. But the one point, he hasn't turned it over. And just your third start, whether you're a senior or not, just your third start, those are the kind of steps you got to look for. You know, he had a couple interceptions each of the past 2 games. So far today, interception free, not turning it over. It's going to pay dividends down the road.
Vandenberg with a nice spiraling punt. And it's going to be caught by Matiska. And so it will be marked down at the 17.
Vandenberg has really done a nice job, as we said all year, filling in for Hunky, but that was a great kick off the foot of Vandenberg. Getting the high fives from the teammates down there. It's, you know, you don't think of the punter a whole lot when ways that a game could be changed, but he's done a lot of times this year able to change the field position for the Prairie Wolves with his leg, and that's a good weapon to have back there for the Prairie Wolves.
Trafficani under center here. From their zone 17, 1st and 10, has some time to throw. Swing toss goes underthrown incomplete to Jared Williams. And you talk about the kicking and the punting, you know, the special teams. You know, we see them come out here and work out well in advance of kickoff, like 90 minutes before kickoff. They're always out working on the field. And I think Ray Corona, who does the special teams coaching here at Wesleyan, has got those guys working pretty hard out there just to make sure that they're on their game. And, you know, the punting game has been pretty good for Wesleyan. The kicking game, Steven Anderson's one of the best kickers in the GPAC.
Well, and you look at last week, a close game, comes down to a field goal, 10-7 win. As that kind of the ball pops loose, still free on the turf.
And did Wesleyan get it?
They did.
Yes, they did. So the ball pops out, and the Prairie Wolves jump on top of it, and it looks like Seth Wardeen jumped on the ball.
See if it was just a bad exchange here.
It must have, as Williams tried to get it. And then all of a sudden we see a mad dash for the football, and it was Seth Wardeen who comes up with it. And the Prairie Wolves with the football at the 21-yard line of Briarcliff. With 7:30 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Coming into the game, Briarcliff fumbled it 10 times. They lost 7 of them. 2 fumbles this afternoon. I guess you can put that one on Williams as well. So far for the Chargers this afternoon.
Out of the gun, here it is. Myers looking near side, incomplete. Nobody really in the neighborhood. Looked like Blake Coyne might have been the nearest receiver he was looking at.
You just needed to get that one away as pressure was coming. What is he? You know, you saw a steady diet of the run as you look at Ethan Myers and just his 3rd career start here as a senior out of Aurora, Colorado, and done a nice job this afternoon and completing some big passes when he had to. Hasn't turned it over. A lot of motion. Able to run this offense, do some nice things. Has a rushing touchdown as well.
Here's Coyne on the pitch. Bumps around and is tackled inside the 20 at about the 17. So we see Coyne getting a few reps here on offense. We've seen everybody from Stockcamp to Bryant, Jordan Delbaugh, and now we see Blake Coyne getting a few snaps.
Him in at fullback has had some big carries from that fullback spot. So, and even, like I said, Myers from the quarterback spot has picked up some yards.
3rd and 7 from the 18. Myers Throws far side. It is complete inside the 15. Ran out of bounds. Reception made by Christian Schmore. It looks like, who was the receiver.
This is a pretty nice grab. Meyer puts it right over the shoulders. Schmore hauls it in, going to the sideline, able to move the chains.
So we're starting to see a few of the guys that are down on the depth chart a little bit to getting some playing time here. 6.5 to go here in the third. First and goal at the 8. And Schmore that time gets the handoff, and he is quickly stopped right at the 8.
As you head into this, you go down the chart on who's carried the ball so far for Nebraska Wesleyan this year. Schmore came in just 5 carries on the season. Getting some carries here now as Wesleyan in control.
It's a reverse. Manley coming from the right side. He's going to throw the ball into the end zone. Touchdown into the hands of Ethan Myers.
We've seen it all today, Jeff. We've seen special teams touchdowns. We've seen block punts. We've seen defense scoring. We've seen Ethan Myers running for a touchdown. Now we see Ethan Myers hauling in one from Joe Manley. A little razzle-dazzle from the Prairie Wolves as Manley looks like he's going to go. Oh, nope, here it is. Myers all alone in the back of the end zone.
The point after coming up. Steven Anderson boots it. And it's through the uprights. 5:45 in the third quarter. Nebraska Wesleyan now leading 52-0 off a touchdown pass from Joe Manley to Ethan Myers, the quarterback. Back with more in a moment.
Like Wesleyan because
It's a school that whatever you want to be in life, you can certainly do it.
I wanted a small school, small campus where I could be one-on-one with my professors.
It's just like one big family. Not to mention the kind of education she gets is wonderful.
I didn't apply to any of the schools. I know Wesleyan was the one that I wanted to come to.
We want you to come join us and be part of the Prairie Wolf family and be a part of the tradition of success.
Back here at Able Stadium, Jeff Moats, Lucas Mormon, John Thayer, our entire 21 Sports crew with you today for GPAC football. Able Stadium, Nebraska Wesleyan University, and it is a 52-0 advantage for the Prairie Wolves over the Chargers of BRIAR.
And you see that Chargers sideline, there's just not a lot to feel good about at this point, 52-0, and really they haven't had even a lone bright spot to hang their hat on.
Yeah.
Just, you see arms crossed, shoulders shrugged, they got to find something. There's still a quarter and a half of football. There's still 20 minutes of football left. They have to find something to build on for next week. And it's going to be tough. Is this Nebraska Wesleyan defense, even with some of the young guys in there, is really doing a nice job. The offense has put it together today, and the kicking game, all facets.
And Matika gets it, and he is met up and taken down at the 26-yard line.
We got an old-fashioned melee right out at midfield. We had a little wrestling match going between Steven Anderson, the punter, and one of the Briar Cliff players. And then
it looked like a few words. It looked like Mike Trilbaugh and Steven Anderson might have had some words, and then Phil Latimer comes over, and now they're pulling him back. In fact, Coach Keller coming out to help holding him back and keeping him cool. And then, we got penalty flags on the field, so obviously some extracurricular activity going to result.
Well, Steven Anderson somehow ended up on the ground after kicking that one off. There was kind of a little wrestling match going, and then once Latimer saw that, he just came over. He kind of saying, hey, you don't need to be messing with my kicker. So we'll see how this sorts out here, as it was way behind the play. I say someone just came, somehow Steven Anderson and one of the Briar Cliff players, I think it was Matt Sullivan, and it looked like maybe, let's listen in.
32 white, unsportsmanlike. Number 10, Nebraska Wesleyan, unsportsmanlike. Those will offset. We have number 94, Nebraska Wesleyan, came off the bench. He is ejected. That's a 15-yard penalty.
So Phil Latimer his day is over.
Coach Keller wants to talk it over, I think. He wants to talk to the referee. And it wasn't, I misspoke. I thought maybe it was 52. It was 32. Mike Trobaugh, as you said earlier, and Anderson who kind of got into it. And now he wants to see, I'm not sure if Latimer did really come off the bench or if he was in on that kickoff. I'm going to check there. Coach Keller wants to sort it out. You always want to be sure when you get someone, especially as serious as this, it's not just the 15-yard penalty he's worried about. It's the ejection, really, for Phil Latimer, where, that makes a big difference. Latimer, a key backup on defense, and he's been great up there in that lead ISO, running some plays on the offense side of the ball. So, some of his teammates saying, hey, it's all right, just keep it cool. But, he was just fighting for his man, too. So, Latimer just, as he thought that it was a little too much business for a kicker. So, Coach Keller sorts it out, comes over, and we're going to play football.
So, it looks like it will stand as Latimer is out of the game. And we'll resume with play here with 5:35 remaining in the third quarter. And the ball at the Briarcliff 41-yard line.
Now the timing, like I say, just unfortunate. Like I said, up by a big margin like this, to have something silly like that really put a brown spot on your day.
Trafficani with a nice throw upfield to his wide receiver, and it goes into the end zone. Touchdown from Bryce Harshman. And Harshman gets in there, and they break the goose egg.
Harshman's the favorite target all season long. Gets in for 6 there on the big play.
Watch this again from Trafficani. Nice throw downfield, and there's Harshman with the reception. And takes it into the end zone, and now the point after coming up from their kicker, Derek Beisner, who is a senior out of Grand Island. So they'll attempt the point after. Here's the kick. And it is good. 5:26 to go, third quarter. Briarcliff finally on the scoreboard, but they're down by quite a bit. 52-7 on 21 Sports.
This is the smoothie that Tina bought after her workout by withdrawing some money from the ATM near her gym, instead of stopping at the branch in her grocery store, or the one by her daughter's school, or her usual location that's minutes from home, where Dave at Union Bank takes care of her when she needs more than an ATM. At the right bank, help is just around the corner, and the right bank starts with the right people.
Third quarter of action here at Able Stadium. Nebraska Wesleyan ahead 52-7. Briarcliff gets on the scoreboard. I believe we have John Thayer on standby. We'll get to him here in just a few moments, but still Briarcliff finally getting on the scoreboard. And what before that, we had a lot of extracurricular activity happen. It was on the ensuing kickoff following Wesleyan's touchdown that there was some unsportsmanlike penalties called against both Steven Anderson, the kicker of Nebraska Wesleyan, and Mike Trobaugh of Briarcliff. And then Phil Latimer intervened, and because of that unsportsmanlike, he was ejected from the game.
Well, I'm sure Coach Keller will turn it into a learning moment, but that's at that point you just got to learn to control your emotions.
Eiler gets it at the 9. He's up to the 30, and he is corralled by Alex Pick and is tackled at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, that saw Harshman with the catch. Say he's leading the Chargers in touchdown receptions this year. That's number 6 on the season. He's over 700 yards of receiving yards this year. There's Cody Eiler, who's had a big day in the return game.
I think for the most part, it's safe to say that everybody on offense, definitely defense, even the special teams, they've done an outstanding job playing today. And it's a Wildcat direct snap. And that time it goes to Nick Lovell, and Lovell takes it to the 50-yard line and gets a first down.
Well, we saw Level against Dort. We've seen a couple carries earlier in the game. Good hole there for Level on the direct snap. So now they're just getting a chance to work out some of these plays in their playbook that maybe they don't get a chance to use very often. That'll come in handy down the road.
Jeremy Belk is the new quarterback in. He'll run the option pitch over here to the near side or far side to Nate Jones, and Jones is going to be stopped behind the line at the 49. Let's head down to the field to John Thayer.
Well, guys, you talked about the scuffle on the field with Steven Anderson and Latimer and those guys. And when Latimer, it was announced that he was ejected, Steven Anderson was the first guy to him and basically saying thank you, because it's the brotherhood they talk about in football, and especially here at Wesleyan, they appreciate the brotherhood of one another. So protecting each other is very important to these Wesleyan football players. But before that, how about the day that Steven Anderson has had today? He might be up for a GPAC Special Teams Player of the Week honor. You got to look at, I believe he's made, 7 extra points. He's got a 41-yard field goal, and he made a touchdown-saving tackle. And on that touchdown-saving tackle, Special Teams Coordinator Phil Harm, I was standing right by him, and he looked at me, and he goes, yeah, that's my kicker. He goes, that's number 4. So he is very fired up for what Steven Anderson has done today, minus, of course, that penalty.
And very well said. Obviously, Steven Anderson's done a terrific job on the special teams. Here's a pass from Belk that goes incomplete here on the near side of the field, and Prairie Wolves will see a 3 and out, and we'll have to punt, and here comes Vandenberg back out on the field.
Well, and really, Steven Anderson also did a great job kicking off. He's had some touchbacks on the afternoon. The coverage has been good, but he's put it back in the end zone when he has to. So, yeah, all around, Anderson, just one of the many, having a great day on the Nebraska Wesleyan side of the ball.
High punt. Takes a bounce inside the 25, and it will be marked down at the 15-yard line.
That's the third time today that Vandenberg's pinned him inside the 20-yard line on 7 punts. So even though his average might be falling a little bit this afternoon, he's doing a great job pinning Briar Cliff back in their own territory inside that 20-yard line. Traffic Canny back out for
another
Briar
series.
Cliff.
And you begin to wonder when they're going to pull him. It might not be till the fourth quarter. He might finish out this quarter before he comes out for the game. And Wilson takes the handoff on 1st and 10 from the 15 and only picks up 2 yards to the 17-yard line. 3:19 and counting here in the third.
Brandon Reeves in there from his linebacker spot, helping out with the tackle that time. It's
timeout called here.
No play clock issue. It looks like they're going to reset the play clock to get things going in the right direction.
Traffic Canny, pass is complete to his receiver, Brett Van Meiden. And how about Van Meiden?
Nice
Gets the
hands.
first down, and he takes it to the 32, or rather the 27-yard line. And first down for him.
Thrown a little bit behind him, but a good ball by Traffic Canny, fitting it between the coverage, but Van Meiden really doing the bulk of the work there. Great hands coming back across his body to haul that in, fight for first down yardage. That's that same little slant play they've ran numerous times. They've had it picked off once to open the game and nearly picked off a couple other times. They're going back to it.
1st and 10, Van Meiden with reception out to the 40 to the 45, and is forced out of bounds on the far side of the field. Looks like it was Brandon Reeves out of Hastings, the sophomore for Nebraska Wesleyan, who made the tackle.
Well, now Briar Cliff, a little bit of rhythm. The big play last drive, the one play for the touchdown. Now they move the sticks here after being pinned inside their own 20. You don't know whether that's just because of the way that Nebraska Wesleyan may be playing a little bit of style defense, more of a prevent. You don't want to go prevent already this time, say the P word, the prevent. So many people, you play that and then all of a sudden people put up yards on you, but sometimes you see it. There's an interception.
Almost an interception that
drop
time.
It, and there's a flag as well.
And it was intended for Stephon Levy, the pass. But Tyler Schultz thought he had a clean try at getting that ball. So pass interference against Tyler Schultz. And this will be an automatic first down. Take a look at the defense. And now Traffic County on 1st and 10. And here's a pass over the middle, incomplete, but now flags come out again, and it looks like Seth Wardeen had bumped into Colton Sweezy, the intended receiver, and this could be another pass interference penalty. Touchdown, Brett Kotzer and Nebraska Wesleyan.
What a start for the Prairie Wolf.
Who've got this team back on the winning track. You go back to last week, they didn't allow the offense at Concordia into the end zone. And then this week, or 2 weeks ago, they gave up only 184 yards.
There you see some of the defensive performance today. And timeout called here, and it looks like it will be taken by Nebraska Wesleyan here with 1:56 to go here in the third quarter. And it's 52-7 Wesleyan over Briarcliff. Back with more in a moment.
Pick Wesleyan because
It's a school that whatever you want to be in life, you can certainly do it.
I wanted a small school, small campus where I could be one-on-one with my professors.
It's just like one big family. Not to mention the kind of education she gets is wonderful.
I didn't apply to any of the schools. I know Wesleyan was the one that I wanted to come to.
We want you to come join us and be part of the Prairie Wolf family and be a part of the tradition of success.
Minute 56 to play here in this third quarter.
1-3-1.
That's the scoreboard story as you see. It's been all Wesleyan basically since 14 seconds into this ball game.
Back-to-back pass interference penalties on this drive have aided the Chargers down in Nebraska Wesleyan territory, and very uncharacteristic penalties by this Prairie Wolf squad.
Here's Wilson off the handoff, and he is met up with Russell Walton, and Walton takes him down at the 23-yard line on that play. And boy, very uncharacteristic to see back-to-back pass interference calls against the Wesleyan defense.
Well, really, penalties, they've been doing a great job of limiting their penalties. They've only been penalized an average of about 42.5 yards a game in the seasons. They've only 4 times this season, I should say, they've only committed 4 turnovers or penalties or less. So they've done a good job, but today up at 6 penalties on the afternoon, over 60 yards.
Ball overthrown, incomplete by Traffic County.
You know, but sometimes even in big wins like this where you really feel in control of things, you know, it's those small things that you can find and point out that really you can work on for the next week. So, you know, Coach Keller, you know, it'll be 52-7 and everyone's going to feel good about this victory, don't get me wrong, but he's going to be able to come back to some things and find some coaching and teachable moments. The scuffle at midfield, the pass interference penalties, the late hit out of bounds, some things that they can really work on and be a little more disciplined in the weeks to come.
And we got flags that come out. It's a false start on Briarcliff. Maybe Stevan Levy.
False start, number 72 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, replay, third down.
Instead, it was Emmanuel St. Louis who moved on that offensive line. It looked like maybe that Levy might have jumped the gun a little bit as he was heading on his route. And that might have sparked the false start penalty, but again, it's on Emmanuel St. Louis, number 72, as you see on your screen.
He's out of Port Charlotte, Florida. They have a variety of players from different locations on this Briarcliff squad.
Got a few of them from the St. Louis area, too. A reception made by Van Meiden, and he is wrapped up and tackled at the 23 by Cody Eiler.
A few guys from Illinois, some from South Dakota. You get the Iowa guys, Texas guys, you know, a smattering of the Midwest and down south. You have some Louisiana, you have, like you said, a little Texas, and another timeout on the field.
Timeout taken by Briarcliff. Just over a minute to go. Third quarter, 52-7 Wesleyan on 21 Sports.
The keys to the car that Sarah just bought after landing a new job where she barely made it to the interview on time. In a rental car paid for with money that was transferred to her account in seconds after her old car broke down. With a simple call to Ryan at Union Bank, who took care of everything and got Sarah on her way. At the right bank, a real solution is just a phone call away. And the right bank starts with the right people.
Back here at Able Stadium, timeout taken by Briarcliff. They have it on 4th and 5 here at the Wesleyan 23-yard line. Just over a minute remaining here in this third quarter. Yep, hard to believe we're still in the third quarter. It's been a very long 15 minutes here at least.
Well, it took a little bit to sort out the scuffle, and then Briarcliff been able to get out of bounds, get some first downs, and move things. So clock's been stopping a little bit more.
Here's a reception. No, incomplete. Taylor Gunther with great coverage. The intended receiver there was Colton Sweezy. And it's...
Take a look. I thought Sweezy was going to come down with it, but just a little bit of contact at the end by Gunther. Great job to knock it free and force the turnover on downs.
So the Prairie Wolves will have it 1st and 10. It'll be at their own 23-yard line. And Belk is back out at quarterback for Nebraska Wesleyan. 57 seconds remaining here in the third, and here we go, out of the eye. One receiver each side, as you see. Here's a toss to Jones, and Jones, the tailback, takes it across the 25, and he's tripped up at the 27-yard line.
Everybody getting some carries this afternoon. I know Coach Keller excited to get some young guys into the game, get them some experience. You never know when you're going to need them. With road game next week at Dakota Wesleyan.
Second down here, swing toss Jones. More of a lateral as he caught the ball and got it toward the 30. They'll mark him at the 28.
Should be the last play of the quarter. Great point, though, Jeff. Like you said, a lateral. Made sure he hauled that in, otherwise that was a live football.
Well, as the clock winds out here in the third quarter, the Prairie Wolves continue to unleash their fury, so to speak, both defensively and offensively, even on special teams. How about this? Kickoff return from Cody Eilert, 88 yards into the end zone. Four plays. You see Jordan Delbaugh running out toward the far sideline of the field. And how about this? A miscue, and Nebraska Wesleyan recovering a fumble there. And now there you see the pass play from Joe Manley to the receiver, which is the quarterback, Ethan Myers, for another touchdown. And we're through three. 52-7 Nebraska Wesleyan. Back with the fourth quarter in a moment.
Hi, this is Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy. You know, a great way to save money and energy is by installing a high-efficiency heat pump system to heat and cool your home. Typically, heat pump systems can save 20 to 40% annually. It's a small change that can make a lot of change, and it makes Dollar here very happy. See? Visit us at, okay, Dollar, all right. Visit us at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube for even more money and energy-saving tips. Thanks for watching. See you next time. You want some more? There you go. That's a good boy. You like the quarters, don't you? Yeah.
21 Sports back here at Able Stadium. Just underway with the fourth quarter. There you see the quick toss intended for the tight end that time. John Hawthorne going incomplete. Here on fourth down, Prairie Wolves punt, bouncing at the 42, and they'll mark it down close to the 40-yard line. John Thayer standing by down in the field with more. John?
Well, guys, we've seen a lot today. Special teams, offense, defense. I think, Lucas, as you said it, we've seen it all. And, in fact, one other thing we did see today, Jordan Delbaugh, when he returned that fumble, he recovered the fumble in the end zone on the punting miscue for Briarcliff. It was the first fumble return for a touchdown for Nebraska Wesleyan in 2 years. It was October 31st, 2009, when Tony Terp took one against Midland Lutheran, 20 yards for a touchdown. So the first fumble return for a touchdown for Nebraska Wesleyan in 2 years. And also, you look at the scoreboard, 52 points right now for the Prairie Wolves. If they could get another touchdown, it would be the highest point output of the season.
John, thanks for that report. Here is Harshman, who got the lateral toss and picks up a few yards on the far sideline. That's just hard to believe because the biggest point total that they had was that win against St. Mary's in the first game of the season.
And just finally hitting stride here, kind of the perfect storm. You had the bye week to get Myers ready, and then Dort really gained some confidence. And then really last week was kind of an anomaly on the offensive side of things. You went up against a tough Concordia defense who limited their yards, but now this week back in the swing of things.
Pass is intercepted by Kotzer. Leaping up in the air, making the catch. And he is still on his feet. He cuts back toward the outside. He's got some room. He's to the 40 and finally tripped up by the defender that time for Briarcliff, which happened to be Stevan Levy. And we take a look at this again. This is the second interception.
Play. Kotzer, one hand, tips it up to himself. What a play by Kotzer. Second pick of the day, as you said, Jeff, and then he just refuses to go down. He wanted to try and take that one back, but the play that started all, the tip, was really what impressed me most. He was able to tip that up, hang in there, and tip it to himself and get the INT.
That's the basketball player in him that came into play. Of course, Brett Kotzer, a pretty good basketball player in his days at Ewing High School. 1st and 10. This is from the Briarcliff 36. Belk out of the gun. Throws a pass, and it's complete. Nope, incomplete.
Great defensive play that time by Chance Colvin, the junior, as the intended target that time. It looked like,
I think Tyler Schultz was the receiver that time, or the intended receiver. So we take a look at this again on the replay.
A good stick, though. Looked to be a sure catch, but jarred it free. Just a good, solid, clean football hit.
Second down here for Wesleyan.
So
out of the eye.
Might have changed the play.
Belk dropping back to the near side. Incomplete. Intended for Brooks Earhart. We're at the 14-minute mark here in this contest, and 3rd down and 10 coming up here.
Well, we've seen Belk on a couple series here now. As you get a look at him, he comes into the contest. He had a few snaps earlier in the season. Castle Rock, Colorado, sophomore. Getting him a little experience, I guess. Throwing some more of the playbook out there rather than just turning and handing it off. They're letting him try and put it up in the air.
Timeout, Nebraska Wesleyan.
So Brian Keller takes a timeout.
Timeout of the half.
We're exactly 14 minutes to go in the game. 52-7 Prairie Wolves on 21 Sports.
It's a school that whatever you want to be in life, you can certainly do it.
I wanted a small school, small campus where I could be one-on-one with my professors.
It's just like one big family. Not to mention the kind of education she gets is wonderful.
I didn't apply to any of the schools. I know Wesleyan was the one that I wanted to come to.
We want you to come join us and be part of the Prairie Wolf family and be a part of the tradition of success.
Well, they've thrown the ball the last 3 tries and nothing doing for Nebraska Wesleyan, so Brian Keller called the timeout and maybe want to run something different here on 3rd down, and let's see what they go with.
Well, and you got a lot of young guys in there that maybe haven't seen a lot of playing time. Belk in there at quarterback, some new running backs in there, a couple new guys out at wide receiver. So just want to make sure everybody is on the same page here as try and convert on 3rd and long.
Belk looking to throw, has some time. Earhart, did he make the catch?
He made the catch, but well short of the first down. Belk had to check down to the receiver leaking out of the backfield on a little drag route. Be very shy of the first down, 4th and 7. And they'll probably go for it here rather than have Anderson come in and try a long field goal. Despite the offense's trouble here, maybe this drive, you look at Wesleyan, in the all-brown today, the brown pants. We've seen them twice. The seniors decide what uniform combination they're going to wear, and we'll talk about that in a little bit.
4th down, Belk looking toward the end zone. Intended for Earhart, goes incomplete. Looked like it was broken up on the play by Jonathan Major. But the color combo, we've seen them in recent games where they go with the brown tops, white pants, or the gold pants. But
We've seen a little bit of everything, and then against Dort, we saw the brown pants for the first time. And we talked with Sports Information Director Alex Linden, and he double-checked on exactly who gets to pick the color of the uniform combination. It's the seniors, and they picked up the win here at home over Dort in the brown, new quarterback in for BRIAR Cliff, and they've been wearing brown since. They wore them last week on the road even at Concordia. So in this little winning streak, they've went with the brown pants, and they found some success in it. First pass complete for the new guy in the game.
That's P.J. Quiroga. He's the new quarterback in. Quiroga, 6'2", 190-pound freshman. He is all the way from Donna, Texas.
And just his third pass attempt of the year. First completion for Quiroga. So getting him a little time.
So after well over 3 quarters of action, Traficani comes out, and Quiroga will work from the gun here on 2nd and 1. Has time to throw. Pass going to be slightly underthrown, incomplete. And looks like Harshman, the intended receiver, on the far side of the field, and Taylor Gunther had the coverage.
Well, and you see Gunther a little bit more usually in the nickel spot, but Coach Keller and the defense said they're going to get some guys in here in the second half when John talked to him at the break, and to see Gunther out there maybe in a non-nickel situation, getting some playing time.
Second down here. Wilson gets the handoff, and it's to Kolsty that initially had a hand on him. And looked like he got some help, too, that time from Garrett Howell. Make that Brent Ball, I beg your pardon, you're right.
A little bit of a draw play that time. The defensive front did a nice job. They didn't over-pursue. They're able to corral him in the backfield yet, force the punt here. Eiler still out there. He'll take a shot at returning this one. And they've got pressure on a couple kicks.
Feisner's punt. And that's going to go directly out of bounds around the 45. So in that area, that's where they're going to mark it.
Good field position for the Prairie Wolves, and that one just went off the side of Feisner's foot.
So 12:08 to go in the game, and Wesleyan with the football in midfield. They'll mark it actually at the 49. It was in the general area. It looked like it was going out around the 45. And, of course, we don't have the angle to know exactly where it did travel out. So they're saying actually at the 48. So they'll work out of the I formation again. With 2 receivers to the near side. And a handoff to the fullback that time for the Prairie Wolves. And it looks like, again, that was Christian Schmore. So some of the younger guys that we don't get to see on a regular basis getting some playing time here, much valuable playing time. Second down coming up here, the lineup of the I. Belk keeps it. Nice little draw play for himself and takes it to the 43-yard line.
I think that he made some positive yardage out of a little bit of a busted play. He turned and faked. It looked like his running back on the option went the opposite way he did. He just tucked it up and was able to get some positive yards out of it. Belk just tucked it up himself and brings up a 3rd and short. You know, and last year these two teams met. It was all Prairie Wolves as well, but in the 4th quarter, BRIAR Cliff did put up 21 points.
Looks like maybe Schmore that time got the handoff.
Kind of a slow developing, or either that or it was just a good penetration by the BRIAR Cliff backfield.
Make that Sam Hillman who took the carry at that time. Let's get some score updates from GPAC play. John Thayer, I believe, is standing by with more.
Yeah, guys, we got a blowout here, 52-7. A lot of blowouts around the conference. Northwestern all over Dakota Wesleyan today, 34-0. That one with about 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Also, last check, Midland was on top of Concordia, 29-3. We knew Morningside was up big earlier. Perhaps the best game in the conference. We talked about Hastings and how pesky they're getting. They are challenging Doane in Hastings. Right now, that score is 17-16. Doane holding on to a 1-point lead. That was with 4 minutes left in the game. And, you know, after Doane beat Dakota Wesleyan, they pretty much control themselves, maybe into some postseason play for the first time in a long time. And Hastings trying to put a stop to that.
And that would be a huge upset, of course, for Hastings. That's a team that we're going to see here in Lincoln in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, Hastings is just a little bit up and down this year. They started the season kind of on a down note, and really the last 3 weeks have come on strong. And it's kind of a muddled race in the middle of that GPAC. And
swing toss far side. It is Harshman who gets the reception. Going to be bottled up and going to be thrown behind the line of scrimmage and stopped at the 18-yard line. By the way, that Hastings game that we'll have for you here in a couple of weeks, not only will be seen here on 21 Sports, but also statewide on My TV, courtesy of KOLN KGIN on their My TV network. Second and long here. And the pass is going to be incomplete from Quiroga to Harshman.
Just a little bit too far for Harshman. And if you look, trying to find a bright spot on the day, it's got to be Harshman for Briar Cliff. As you take a look at the pass from Quiroga, steps up in the pocket. Nice ball, just a little too far for Harshman. But Harshman's had a solid day. He's a steady player for them. He's their go-to man. He's had over 5 catches this afternoon. Has the touchdown as well. As he's the lone bright spot this afternoon for Briar Cliff.
Quiroga looking up to Harshman again, who makes the catch at the 39, still on his feet. And Taylor Gunther finally corralled him and took him down at the 41. And Kurt Softly had to come over here and help him out a little bit. So first down for Briar Cliff.
There's no quit at Harshman, that's for sure. It made a nice adjustment on the ball. That time it was a little bit behind him, slowed up, was able to go back and get it, pick up positive yards.
So Quiroga has time to throw, going to air it downfield to Van Meideren, incomplete.
That was a drop on Van Meideren. That time, pretty good ball by Quiroga. As they're trying to stretch the field vertically a little bit now in the last couple plays. You look at that GPAC race, though, as we had Doane and Morningside right up there. Hastings with a win. If they could upset Doane, they could go to 4-3 in conference.
And that could possibly move Morningside in the driver's seat, too, in the GPAC standings.
Well, Dakota Wesleyan and Northwestern, both 4-2, tied for second. Anticipated that would be a really, great game today. And as John said, a blowout. Northwestern has really turned it on as of late as well. Double pump this time by Quiroga.
Quiroga looking downfield, incomplete. And it was intended for Stevan Levy. And it goes incomplete. So third down coming up here for Briar Cliff. Next week for Wesleyan, they head up to Dakota Wesleyan.
And that, we talked with Coach Keller before the game. Jeff, we were having a little chat with him on the field, and that's just a tough trip for all these, southern GPAC schools. Concordia, Doane, Nebraska Wesleyan, Mitchell is a tough road trip up there. And then their facilities, they have made some improvements, but it's one of those shared fields, and it's a grass field. It has been, and it's really been beat up at times, especially late in the season, as we got whistles here.
Delay a game. So a delay a game against.
Delay a game on the offense, number 12. 5-yard penalty.
Well, that's just some of the experience. Quiroga, came in, not a lot of snaps on the season. Only 2 pass attempts coming in until this point.
And, those shared fields, we talk about that. There's a lot of facilities like that in the GPAC. You mentioned Dakota Wesleyan, where you've got the high schools that use it up there. And then, of course, on Saturdays, that belongs to Dakota Wesleyan. And now Quiroga feeling the pressure as Tukolsky comes over and also gets some help that time On the play for Nebraska Wesleyan's David Jennings.
Came with a blitz this time as well, so a little extra pressure. And Quiroga, not the most mobile of quarterbacks, he shows that there. It goes down for another sack on the afternoon.
But to finish the thought about the field, you've got that aspect. Midland's kind of in the same boat up in Fremont because Midland uses that on Saturdays primarily, and then Friday nights and maybe some Thursdays it's used between either Fremont High or Fremont Bergen. But that facility up there at Midland or in Fremont is quite a gem considering the fact that it's got a natural surface. The punt going to be marked down around the 46-yard line.
And you see a lot of that, Sheriff, as we continue to talk about that. Here you see a lot of, 2 high schools that use this field with the turf, which makes it so much easier to do. Concordia shares their field with Seward. Seward High plays their football game. Doane shares with Crete. Crete High School plays their games there as well. So you see that a lot throughout the GPAC, especially once the turf came into play.
Right.
Once the turf became commonplace in some of these facilities, all of a sudden it only made sense. And it's a great chance for some of these Nebraska kids to experience the college venue. Great venue like Able Stadium, like Bulldog Stadium, like over in Crete, Memorial Field, a lot of those that they can come in and experience, and they get to see your campus. So it's a win-win for not only the high schools but the colleges.
And you look at Wesleyan, and it looks like Adam Nielsen took the carry that time. He's a freshman running back out of Weeping Water. Wesleyan, this field, Able Stadium, Weary Field here, is used quite a bit during the school year. Of course, Nebraska Wesleyan, where we're at, of course, for today's game. Lincoln Lutheran and Lincoln Christian High Schools, they share this field on Friday nights for football. And another handoff, this time given to Nick Lovell as he takes it just across the 50-yard line. And you've got the soccer teams here at Wesleyan that use it, and it's used a little bit in the springtime for that as well.
And
for the
some of the high school
schools.
soccers, yeah.
And then they're going to have new field turf put in here next year. This field turf has been around at least 10, 11 years.
Yeah.
So that's about the average lifespan of a field turf surface.
Yeah, Coach Keller, he said this was. I think he thought this was either 11 or 12 on this turf, and they told him they could probably get 10 years out of it. That's their expectation. There's a botched snap,
and Lovell recovers it, and back at the line of scrimmage, the original back at the 46-yard line. So yes, it's gotten its good use over time, and that's primarily why Nebraska Wesleyan and a lot of GPAC schools, smaller schools, even the high schools have gone to that route because it's very durable. If you had an all-grass surface, you would see the midfield from about the 15 on one side to the 15 on the other be nothing but a big bare spot.
Well, not only that, but it allows all those schools some flexibility in their practice schedules where they can practice on this every day without having to worry about tearing it up.
Yeah. Touchback off the punt. It will go out to the 20-yard line. And just like that, it will be Briarcliff who will take over again. So, lots of good things. Improvements, of course. Look at the track around here. This is one of the major upgrades they've done in recent years.
And
we're sitting in another renovated portion of the stadium, the new press box up here. The fine folks with the Gardner Foundation helped make that possible, and now the next thing would be the field turf.
And you can tell at times, that this turf is showing its age as we get another look at Quiroga.
Quiroga dropping back. Levy gets the catch, and he is wrapped up and stopped on the play by Daniel, Sean Springate.
Under 7 minutes now left in this one. Briarcliff trying to string together a little more success. They're going no huddle now as well with Quiroga sitting back there in the shotgun.
Drop back, and Van Meiden makes the catch across the 30 at the 32-yard line, a first down for Briarcliff. And, again, the field turf surface is highly used all across college football. I think that, when you look at the major college football level, there are still some southern schools that use natural surface, but they don't see a lot of enduring weather conditions over a period of time like they do in the northern schools. Another pass to Levy is incomplete.
Good pressure that time to Colsty again. Also coming with a little pressure from that defensive line. Brent Ball getting some time, the senior out of Gearing, Nebraska.
I remember, this is a really quick story, I remember when field turf was first installed at Seacrest Field about the same time it was installed just down the street at Memorial Stadium in downtown. How nice and durable it looked and very shiny, and then over time, you know, it started to wither away, and of course that's just because of the usage of it. Another pass underthrown, incomplete.
Well, you look at the turf and really the advances in the turf. You know, you look at the old AstroTurfs. You know, that's why no one really had the turf. It was always a natural grass field. And now a little more durable, and it doesn't has as many injuries. So just a final piece of this puzzle here at the facility for Nebraska Wesleyan next year. Man, it'll really be sparkling. You know, there's a lot of recruits down there today. You come and see this kind of facility, and the outcome on the scoreboard today is going to make you want to come to school and throw on that brown and gold.
Can't forget about the scoreboard either. And now, how about this? David Jennings coming in there to help out and make the stop. And so a big play there for the Prairie Wolves on defense. John Thayer back down to the football field. Let's check in with him.
Guys, that game at Doane and Hastings, we've been tracking a little bit. It has gone final in Hastings, and we were talking about Steven Anderson maybe getting a GPAC Special Teams Player of the Week award. I think that's been taken away by Hastings kicker, who nailed a 47-yard field goal with a minute left in that game, and Hastings held on for a 19-17 upset win over Doane. But more on our game here, Nebraska Wesleyan, guys, you got to look at Nebraska Wesleyan and think, what are they going to think about this season moving forward? They're going to be thinking what might have been had they not had so many darn injuries this year. You're talking about top running backs, their top quarterback. The way this defense and special teams has played today and add in the offense, this team is playing really, really well right now. And if they hadn't had so many injuries, maybe they are picking up some earlier season victories, and maybe we're talking about them in the GPAC hunt.
And that's a good point, John. And, you know, the thing that when you look back at the injuries, you've had some guys that have had to step up and take on big roles, and one of them being Ethan Myers. Look how well he's done in the last 3 games that he's played as a starting quarterback. And a new quarterback into the game now for Nebraska Wesleyan is Grant Allen. Freshman out of Clarks, Nebraska, played at Cross County High School. He's 5'11", 195. But Ethan Myers, again, is another example of how he's had to step up when, you know, you got a guy like Nate Hopman that goes down with an injury, and you got to have somebody that can step up into a role, and you got a senior who has not started prior to the game 2 weeks ago, comes out and has a great game in his first start. A lot of other guys have had to do that at different positions through the course of the season, and another play here, this one from Allen as he keeps it on a rollout, picks up about a yard.
When you go back to what John was talking about, that score update as well, as you look at the GPAC standings and what might have been as you look at the standings. So now Doane's at 5-2, Morningside's more than likely going to be approved to 6-1. So you got Morningside alone at the top. You got Doane and Northwestern at 5-2, and a logjam at 4-3 for third place in the conference. So what a catch there!
That was a beauty of a pass too, from Grant Allen, and it was to the tight end that time, the freshman Jordan Skarzinski.
Nice hands by Skarzinski that time. Come back to the ball a little bit, haul that one in, but laundry on the field. As we'll see what this is all about.
On the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So tack on 15 more on the roughing the passer as Allen stands in, takes the hit, and delivers the strike. That's a nice gain for Nebraska Wesleyan when you add on the penalty.
So we'll see 2 wideouts to the far side for Nebraska Wesleyan. Tanner Timmerman, one of them, Sam Witherby, the other. And a handoff instead. And that one given to the running back that time.
Nielsen again.
Adam Nielsen, yep. Now we see Tanner Timmerman, the wideout, sophomore out of O'Neill St. Mary's High School. The other one, Sam Witherby, senior wide receiver from Lincoln East. Coming in here late in the game to get some playing time. We're down to 3:40 here in this contest.
You go back to those GPAC standings and you just look at, you know, that one blemish on Morningside's record at the hands of the Prairie Wolves. Just more straight ahead football here. Coach Keller just wants the clock to run, get on out of here with the win, and get ready for next week's trip up to Mitchell
Not an easy trip, very long trip. And the weather at this time of the year in South Dakota, it is touch and go. Because you might have weather like this one day, and the next day you might have 3 inches of snow on the ground.
Well, Coach Keller said you might have weather like this at the start of a game, and by the end of the game you might have had a rainstorm, this weather again, and then snow at the end like they did one season. So I know he's not a huge fan of going to Mitchell every year when they have to.
Catch made around the 25-yard line.
Give Allen some credit. Come into the game. Looks pretty sharp, passing the ball, finding his target against Starzinski. There to make the catch. And Allen, after not seeing any PT so far this year, comes in and doing a nice job here in some mop-up duty.
So it's a 1st and 10 situation at the 25 of Briar Cliff. 2.5 to go in the game. Here's a pitch to Nielsen. And Nielsen is tackled at the 23-yard line. Not a 2-yard gain for him. Getting to see some of these younger players getting some experience today. And, you know, I think this is what Coach Keller was hoping would happen today more than anything, is that the offense comes out and has a great game compared to what it's been the last couple of games. The defense has been playing on key too, and special teams obviously doing a very good job. On the kick return game, here is Nielsen gets another handoff. He's inside the 20 and uses that power and takes the football down to the 18-yard line where he is corralled by Mike Trobaugh.
Well, I mean, the way things are shaping up, these are still 2 very important and winnable games for Nebraska Wesleyan, with Dakota Wesleyan and then finishing out here at Hastings.
If not, if anything, it's a confidence booster.
Exactly.
And they'll be right back here today.
So 2 weeks from this very date, Hastings will be in town, and we got penalty flags that come out. Could be a false start. It is on Nebraska Wesleyan. So 2 weeks from today, we'll have Hastings.
Start on the offense. Number 84, 5-yard penalty. Replay. 3rd down.
And that will be televised also here on 21 Sports and on statewide television through KOLN, KGINDT. That's the My TV network. Boy, you talk about
shaping up should be a great matchup.
It should be a good game because that win with Doane, yeah, I mean, it's 2 weeks out, but still, that win against Doane is going to set up for what could be a heated matchup against Nebraska Wesleyan here in Lincoln. Nielsen make that Schmore took the handoff and a dive play all the way to the 20-yard line. That'll bring up 4th down here, and time winding down with 47 seconds to go here in this game. So the Prairie Wolves improve, and a much-needed win as they came into this game 4-3 overall. They will improve to 5-3 in the overall standings, or their overall record, 4-3 in the GPAC. So 4th down and 5. Schmore gets the handoff again inside the 20, and he'll be tackled at the 17-yard line. The time will stop with 15 seconds to go in this game.
Well, yeah, putting together an entire complete performance, top to bottom, not just offense and defense, special teams, kick return game, multiple facets of the special teams. You had touchdown by Cody Eiler again, 88 yards.
One thing to keep in mind, Dakota Wesleyan this week in the NAIA Top 25 poll ranked 23rd. So
they're taking on Northwestern, and after that loss to Northwestern, they'll wait to see if they can hang on in the top 25, and Briar Cliff is ready to get on the bus and head home too. They'll take a knee, and that will do it.
They're ready to call it good. Your final, Nebraska Wesleyan 52, Briar Cliff 7. It was Wesleyan from the get-go. But some highlights here in the second half. How about this kickoff return from 88 yards? Cody Eiler to the house. Big-time return there for Cody. Jordan Delbaugh got in some pretty key runs today. He had a couple of touchdowns on the day, including one on a fumble recovery. Now here's a fumble that was recovered by Seth Wardine. How about this pass play from Joe Manley to the quarterback? Ethan Myers, who acted as the receiver, and there you see Jordan Delbaugh. And this was his first touchdown of the day early on. His 5th carry of the season. There's the bad snap on that punt formation for Briarcliff, and Delbaugh recovering it in the end zone. And here you see Ethan Myers breaking free, stumbling into the end zone for a touchdown. Let's head down to the field. John Thayer standing by with the winning coach, Brian Keller.
Coach, first off, congratulations on a big win. We talked at halftime about how it was a complete game for your team. They did it in every phase of this game. They continued that in the second half.
Absolutely. Special teams getting another return by Cody, and defense was just dominant. And we got the main thing, we got every kid in. I think every guy suited up, and we played today, and that's the key thing there. So.
When you're able to have a game like this where you can get more kids in, what's it do for your program?
Well, it's a great morale builder. You know, some of these guys have been playing a lot, and they've only had a couple JV games, so it's a nice reward for them for all the hard work they put in.
You had a lot of recruits on the sidelines today before the game, talking to them. What's it do for recruits to see a game like this? I mean, a performance like your guys had.
Well, it sure beats the other way around. We had kids in for the Doane and Midland game. So, no, it's good to see us play well in that, and hopefully it'll pay off for us here in a few months.
Well, a couple more games to go for your team, couple of tough ones. Dakota Wesleyan and Hastings on schedule. What do you look forward to those games?
Ooh, well, boy, you don't even give me a chance to enjoy this one. Dakota Wesleyan's always tough, especially up at their place. But they're a bit of a skid right now. They lost, 4 in a row, I think, or 3 in a row now. So maybe we'll catch them at the right time, and momentum's going our way.
Now we'll let you go enjoy it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks a lot.
All righty, John, thank you. And Coach Keller, he wanted to enjoy the win, not look ahead to Dakota Wesleyan just yet, but we'll let him enjoy it now. 52-7, Nebraska Wesleyan, a winner today over Briarcliff. Big thanks to everybody. For Lucas Mormon, John Thayer, Bill Luxford, Bo Wolf, and our entire 21 Sports crew, I'm Jeff Moats, saying so long. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon from Able Stadium here in Lincoln.
21 Sports presentation of Great Plains Athletic Conference College Football game is made possible by Lincoln Electric System. Use LES to save more. Union Bank, you belong here. And Nebraska Wesleyan University, where academics are only the beginning.